You sit down to do something important, and within seconds, you lose focus, not because you chose to, but because something pulls you away. You open your laptop, and before you even begin, your hand reaches for your phone. One notification, one message, one video, and suddenly, 20 minutes are gone. You try again, but now your brain feels slow, foggy, heavy, like something inside you just switched off. And you ask yourself the same question: why can't I focus anymore? And after a while, you start to believe something is wrong with you. Maybe you're just lazy. Maybe you lack discipline. Maybe other people are just stronger than you. But if that were true, why are millions of people struggling with the exact same thing? A few years ago, focusing used to feel normal. You could sit with a task. Your mind might wander occasionally, but eventually it settled. Now it's different. Now your brain feels restless, like it's constantly searching for something else. You start reading something. 3 sentences in, your brain whispers, "Check your phone." You try to watch a long video, but halfway through, your brain says, "Open another tab." You start working. But 5 minutes later, you're suddenly scrolling. And the strange thing is, you don't even enjoy it. You scroll through videos you don't care about. You read posts you forget immediately. You switch apps over and over again. And the entire time, a quiet thought sits in the back of your mind. I should be doing something else. By the end of the day, you feel tired, but not the satisfying kind of tired, not the kind that comes from doing meaningful work. It's the strange exhaustion that comes from being busy all day but doing nothing that matters. So you promise yourself, tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you will focus. Tomorrow you will be disciplined. But tomorrow comes, and the exact same cycle repeats. Most people believe the problem is simple. They think the issue is discipline. They believe some people just have stronger willpower. Those people can sit down and focus, while the rest of us are weak. But this explanation doesn't actually make sense because something changed. 10 years ago, most people didn't struggle with focus this much. Students could study for hours. People could read books. Work sessions lasted longer than 10 minutes. But today, even intelligent, motivated people struggle to stay focused for 5 minutes. Did human discipline suddenly collapse? Did millions of people all become lazy at the same time? Of course not. Something else changed. And once you see it, you realize the problem was never just you. Your brain is not broken. It's overloaded. Modern life has turned your attention into a battleground. Every app, every platform, every notification is competing for the same thing: your attention. Because attention is the most valuable resource on the internet. The longer you stay on a platform, the more money that platform makes. So the smartest engineers in the world are working on one problem: how to keep you engaged for as long as possible. They test thousands of tiny psychological tricks: endless scrolling, notifications, autoplay, short videos, variable rewards. And these systems are incredibly effective, not because you're weak, but because they are designed around how the human brain actually works. Your brain evolved to seek novelty. New information meant survival. New sounds, new sights, new signals in the environment. But now, your brain is surrounded by infinite novelty. And every time you check your phone, your brain receives a small dopamine reward. Not a huge one, but enough to make you want to check again, and again, and again. Over time, something subtle begins to happen. Your brain becomes used to constant stimulation. So when you sit down to do something slower, reading, studying, deep work, your brain suddenly feels bored. Not because the task is meaningless, but because it can't compete with the speed of digital stimulation. It's like switching from fireworks to watching grass grow. Your brain hasn't lost its ability to focus. It has simply been trained to expect constant reward. Focus is not just about willpower. Focus is about reward timing. Your brain naturally prefers activities that give faster feedback. Social media gives feedback instantly. New posts, new videos, new notifications. Every few seconds, something new appears. But deep work is different. Reading a book might take 10 minutes before something interesting happens. Studying might take 20 minutes before something clicks. Writing something meaningful might take an hour before it feels rewarding. To a brain that is used to instant stimulation, this feels painfully slow. So your mind starts searching for something easier, something faster, something more stimulating. Your phone becomes the escape. But here's the trap. Every time you switch tasks, your brain becomes less capable of deep focus. Because attention is like a muscle. The more it fragments, the harder it becomes to hold. So eventually you reach a point where your brain constantly wants stimulation, and silence starts to feel uncomfortable. Stillness starts to feel boring. Deep focus starts to feel impossible. But here's the important part. This state is not permanent. Your brain can adapt in the other direction too. Most people try to fix focus using discipline. They force themselves to sit still. They fight their impulses. They blame themselves when they fail. But the real solution is simpler. You don't rebuild focus by forcing attention. You rebuild focus by retraining your brain's reward system. This starts with something very small. Moments of intentional boredom. Walking without your phone. Waiting in line without scrolling. Sitting with your thoughts for a few minutes. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Your brain searches desperately for stimulation, but slowly, something begins to change. Your mind becomes quieter. Your attention becomes steadier. Tasks that once felt unbearably slow begin to feel normal again. Reading becomes possible. Deep work becomes possible. Creativity returns. Because your brain is finally escaping the constant noise. And once that happens, focus stops feeling like a battle. It starts feeling natural again. The strange thing about personal growth is that it rarely looks dramatic. There is no sudden transformation, no instant breakthrough, just small, quiet changes. A few minutes of focus, a moment of stillness, a task completed without distraction. At first, these moments seem insignificant, but over time, they compound. Your attention becomes stronger, your mind becomes calmer, and slowly, you become the kind of person who can sit down and do meaningful work again. Not because you forced discipline, but because you gave your brain the space to remember how to focus. Real growth rarely happens loudly, it happens quietly, one focused moment at a time.